Hello, good morning students. I am welcoming you on behalf of Vidyadis Vidya Circle online studies. In today's lecture, we are going to further discuss the chapter number 4 in standard 9 science, and that is the structure of atom. But before we going on to the next topic in this chapter, let us take a brief preview on what we have studied so far in this chapter. So already we have done so much studies in this chapter. The things that we have already discussed in this chapter is that what is the basic concept of materials. Okay, we have learned about that there is a material is made up of a small tiny particles. Okay, material is mainly made up of a small tiny particles which are called as molecules. Molecules can be elements. Elements can be further categorized into the molecules. Then it can be also divided into the further particles, and that will be called as an atom. In the chapter number 3, we have discussed that the atom cannot be further divided. But in this chapter, we have learned that atoms can be also further divided. And the further division takes us to the next subatomic particle. And these subatomic particles gives us the concept regarding the electron, proton and neutron. Whenever we are discussing the electron, proton and neutron, we have discussed that this is a types of topic that is given us by. Okay, wait a second. So now we are discussing that whenever we are discussing the electron, proton and neutron regarding studies, there we have seen that these are the subatomic particles has been discovered by some scientist. Okay, so whoever the scientist has given us the concept regarding the electron, whoever the scientist has given the concept regarding the proton, they have given us so many facts regarding the electrons, protons and neutrons. So already we have seen that the scientist has given us the idea regarding the electron, proton and neutron has given that there is some kind of specific charge is conducted in between this subatomic particle. So they have discovered that the proton consists the positive charge while the electron consists the negative charge and neutron has a no charge. So we can say that it is a constant. After that, we have seen that there are so many scientists that has given us the topic regarding. Wait a second. I'm sorry for the technical error, but as we are discussing that there are scientists that has given us a basic idea of that how the subatomic particles are stays or lies in the atoms. So there are scientists like Thomson. Here you can see that Thomson's, Bohr, Rutherford. They are the scientists that has given us the basic model diagram regarding the atoms, in which they was explaining that how this structure of atom is made up of. In the first topic that we have discussed earlier in the last lecture, that the model of the atom, in which we have seen that the Thomson's model, after that we have seen the Rutherford's model, then there are some types of drawbacks in the Rutherford's model that has been solved by Bohr's model. We have already seen these types of topic. So in the Thomson's model we have seen that some kind of positive sphere is made up of and the electrons are lies in between them, and we have seen that this is a kind of a watermelon like structure, or we have seen that there is a Christmas pudding like structure we can observe in the Thomson's model. Okay, we have already discussed that. After that we have seen the Rutherford's model. In that we have seen that he has given us the idea regarding the structure of atom, in which he has given the concept regarding the nucleus, and he has said that electrons are rotating around the nucleus, but he hasn't given us the idea regarding the orbital structure of the electrons. So that drawbacks has been discovered, and that drawbacks is solved by Bohr, and after that they have both collabed with each other to make a general structure of atom model in which we are and that model we are studying in this generation, in this new age. Okay, so they both collab and they both have decided to make a model that we are studying today, in which we have seen that the proton and neutron are lies in the nucleus, while the electrons are revolving in the orbit, and they are revolving in a fixed structure. This is not like that. The electrons can be whatever the number of electrons can be revolving in its orbit. So it has to be a fixed structure. In the first orbit, we have seen that it can be maximum 2 electrons can be stayed. In the second orbit, there is also an 8 electrons. In the third orbit, it can be also an 8 electrons. So likewise, that we have studied these types of topic. Now, today we are going to discuss about the number of elements. There are different types of method is available to memorize these 18 elements name. You can find it out on a Google easily, very well, or you can see the previous lecture of mine for the standard 9 structure of atom, in which I have already told that how to memorize these 18 elements. Okay, I will send you the link, or I will put the link in the description. Okay, so you can see it from there. Okay, there I have given a method regarding how to memorize this 18 element sequence. But before going on to that, we are going to discuss the valency. Now, what is the valency? So, whenever we are discussing the valency, first thing we have to understand about the atomic number. Also, we will have to see about the electronic configuration. Also, we have to see about the number of proton. That types of topic first we are going to discuss, and then afterwards we are going to discuss about these 18 elements composition. Okay, how to memorize that. So the first thing is that what is a number of proton and number of electron. So in whatever the atom or in whatever the element that is made up by the atom, in the atom how many number of atoms are present in that, how many electrons or how many protons are present in that we'll have to discuss first. So if the number of proton or the number of electron present in the atom is 1, okay, what I am saying is the number of proton or the number of electron is 1 in the atom, it means it has an atomic number 1. Okay, so from the one thing you can understand the 3 possibilities or 3 things. Okay, now if you understand the atomic number, which is basically come from number of electrons present in the atom, and the number of electron is always equal to the number of proton present in the atom. Okay, so whenever I am saying that this atom or this element has the atomic number 1, from that you can understand very well that this atom consists the electron 1, okay, I know that some of you cannot see because in the last lecture I have taken the green color. So I know that you cannot visualize the homework that I have written in the last portion of the lecture. but still I am changing the color. Okay, so it basically gives us the idea regarding the whatever the element. Now you all understand the element because we have learned about the element, molecules, compounds and ions in the third chapter. So we are discussing that whenever I am saying that this element has an atomic number 1. For example, I will take hydrogen. So hydrogen has the atomic number 1, which signifies that what? The number of electrons present in the hydrogen is 1. The number of proton present in the hydrogen is 1. So which gives us the basic idea regarding the atomic number. Now from the number of electrons that is present, we are going to discuss that number of electrons present in okay, here is some blank space, so I can write it down here, okay, for your better understanding. Now, if a number of electron is present, but earlier we have seen that the number of electrons can be further divided in an electronic configuration. In that we have seen that the electronic configuration is a fixed structure of an electrons are rotating or revolving around its orbit. Okay, in whatever the element, whenever we are taking some kind of element, we'll have to take a fixed number of electron into the orbital structure so that the atom can be stable. Otherwise, it has some kind of space in that orbit. Now, discussing onto that, we have known that the 2n square is the formula for what? For understanding the number of electrons are present in whatever orbital structure. So if we take n is equal to 1, we can easily find out that in the first orbit, the maximum electron can be stayed is 2. From the 2 into 1 square. Okay. The n is equal to 2, which gives us the idea that maximum electron can be stayed is 8. And the n is equal to 3 gives us the idea that maximum electron can be 18. Okay, but also we have seen that the orbit can be sticked with the fixed electron, and that is maximum 8 electron it can be holding. Okay, so if it has a 1 electron present in the hydrogen, we have taken the example of hydrogen. Hydrogen has a 1 electron. Likewise, it has also 1 proton. Okay. And atomic number is also 1. So it means we need 1 electron for the stability of the hydrogen, which gives us the basic idea regarding the electronic configuration structure. Because it consists of 1 electron, it has we have seen that the 4 orbital structure K, L, M and N. So it has only 1 electron in the first orbit. Okay, because it doesn't have any other extra electron to represent the here. Okay, so whatever the electron are present in the last orbit. Okay, now it is an important topic. Please pay proper attention here. Whatever the number of electron present in the last orbit can be considered as the valency of that electron. Okay, so here comes the important topic, valency. Valency means a space. Okay, whatever the space has been occupied by the last orbit can be called as the valency. But whenever this orbit is filled up with the fully electron, or when the atom is fully stable by the electronic configuration of the atom, that the valency is 0. Okay, but it does not mean that the valency can be calculated everywhere 0, because we have seen that the number of electron is only one present here. For example, we will take another example for the sodium. Now sodium has the atomic number of 11. Okay, now we can categorize in these orbits. So how can we categorize this? So in the first orbit the maximum electron can be 2. Now in the second orbit we have seen that the maximum electron can be 8. And in the third orbit how many electrons are now pending? So we can see that the 3 electrons are pending. Okay, so we can assume that what is the valency for sodium? We can understand that the valency for the sodium is 3. Okay. Now I think you all are understanding the valences topic. So we are going to the topic that we are discussing today, and that is the composition of 18 elements. Okay. So these are the things that we have already discussed in the earlier lecture. Okay. Bohr's model, Rutherford's model. This is the topic that we are discussing today. I think you all can see the proper 18 elements. Okay. I will take this here. So as you can see it here now, I hope you all understand this. So I will erase this. Okay. Now here you can see the number of elements that is present here. Symbol, atomic number, number of protons, number of neutrons. See, we are not going to calculate how the number of neutrons came, but we are going to discuss that afterwards. Okay. Number of electrons, distribution of electrons, that we have already done. And now this is the valence. Okay. Okay, here comes the first, hydrogen. The hydrogen has a atomic number 1, which means already number of proton is 1, number of electron is 1, and it gives us the electronic configuration. The first orbit has the 1 electron in it, so it has a 1 valency for that. Okay. Now after the hydrogen it comes the helium. Helium has a symbol He. You already remember this symbol in the chapter number 3. The modern element symbol for these elements are like this. Okay. So it has atomic number 2, which gives us the idea of number of protons, that is also 2, which gives us the idea that the number of electrons is also 2. Okay. It has a 2 electrons in it, which means automatically it will give us the idea that valency is 0. Why? Because it has a fixed structure. It does not have any kind of extra amount of extra or less amount of electron in the last orbit. It has a fixed. Now it is a stable particle. Okay. So from that we can assume that there is a 0 valency. Okay. And then lithium has a symbol Li. Number of atomic number is 3, which means already 3, then 2 and 1, which means in the last orbit you can see that last orbit means in the whatever the orbit there is a last electron present, it can't be considered as a last orbit. So last orbit has a 1 electron, which means the valence is 1. Okay. Now beryllium has the 2 electron in the last orbit. It has to be a 8 electron in the second orbit to fixed or to stable particle. So it has the valency of 2 electron. Okay, the carbon beryllium. Okay, then boron. Okay, 5 electrons. Now carbon has a 6 electron. Okay, from nitrogen 7, oxygen 8. Okay, so you can divide this whole number of electronic configuration you by yourself. Okay, we'll just have to memorize this sequence. Okay, so for memorizing this sequence there is so many techniques available on the internet, but I am giving you an easy technique. Okay, from the first alphabet you can memorize it. Okay, so this is basically given as the concept like that. Hi, hello, lithium. BBC News of Florida. But okay, that is the first statement that is overcome here. Hi, hello, lithium. BBC News on Florida. From that, the first alphabet gives us the hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine concept. Okay. After that, you can memorize this neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. So here is the topic that we can understand from the Hindi language or from the English language. ना सोडा मांगो अल्लाह से, पानी से काम आगे बढ़ाओ. ओके, ऐसी तरह से आप याद रख सकते हो. ओके, so from these are the things or these are the short techniques from the first alphabet. You can memorize these things. Okay, I am already putting the link in this description. There I have discussed these 3 or I think 4 methods to memorize these 18 elements. Okay, so from that you can understand it very well. Okay. Okay, we are going to the next topic, but I am giving you 30 seconds of time so you can take a screenshot of this. I will send you a PPT after I finish my chapter. Okay, today I am going to finish this chapter, but still I am giving you a 30 seconds of time. Okay, so I hope you all are understanding these things. Okay, now this is the valency. Valency is the combining capacity or an atom of an element, which means the number of electrons present in the last shell. Okay, in whatever the element is called as the valency of that electron. The electron present in the outermost means in the last orbit of an atom are called the valency. Okay. So as we are discussing that what is the valency. So whatever the number of electrons are present in the last orbit or in the outermost orbit, it can be said that it is called as a valency of that element. Okay. So we are discussing that. Now we are going to discuss about the isotopes and isobars. Okay, this is the basic structure that we have already seen in this lecture. We are discussing the isotopes and isobar. That first of all we are going to discuss what is isotopes. So as we have seen earlier in this lecture that we have seen about what is the atomic number, what is the mass number. So basically atomic number is given as the number of electrons are present in the atom. It will be denoted by its atomic number. The number of proton and the number of electrons are always equal, and from that we can say that whatever the atomic number, it represents us that what is the electronic configuration in that element. Okay, it can be identified by the electronic configuration by the shells that is given in the already in the earlier section, that is K, L, M and N. After that, we have seen that there are some allotropes of some elements is available, but that element has a same atomic number but has a different mass value in it. So that type of element is known as isotopes. Okay, basically we are seeing here the example regarding the hydrogen. Okay, so as you can see on the screen that hydrogen has the three allotropes. Okay, and that are protium, deuterium and tritium. So they have a same atomic number but they have a different mass number in it. So that types of allotropes having a same atomic number but having a different mass number is called as a isotopes. Okay, and the isobar is what? It's a opposite thing of the isotopes. Okay, the elements having a same mass number but having a different atomic number, that type of allotropes will be called as an isobars. Okay, so here is the example regarding the isotope. I have given you the definition regarding that. Hydrogen has a three isotopes like protium, deuterium and tritium. As you can see that they all have a same atomic number. They have consist the atomic number 1 because of the electronic configuration lies in that it is present the number of electron in it is 1. Also it is said to be that the number of proton also is 1 in the hydrogen atom. We have seen in the configuration of this electronic configuration of the first 18 elements earlier in this lecture. Okay, so we are discussing now what is the isobars. So the elements having the different atomic number but having the same mass number is a kind of a isobars. Okay, so as you can see here is the example regarding the calcium and argon. As you can see the calcium and argon have a same mass number. It has a same mass number of 40 but it has a different atomic number. The argon's atomic number is 18 while the calcium's atomic number is 20. As you can see on the screen. Okay, this is the basic definition. The isobars atoms of a different elements having a different atomic numbers but having the same mass number. Okay, here is the difference that you have to write in the homework, and that is the isotopes and isobars. Okay, here is the isotopes and here is isobars. Okay, so isotope is they have the same atomic number but different mass number, while in the isobars they have the same mass number but different atomic number. Same number of proton but the different number of neutrons present in the isotopes, while in the isobars the number of electrons are different in the isobars. So in isobars they have a different chemical properties, while in the isotopes they have identical chemical property. Because isotopes has a same atomic number, so if we are talking about a hydrogen, if we are talking about a deuterium, protium or whatever the hydrogen's allotrope, whatever we are talking about, they have a same chemical properties because of its atomic number is same, because of the chemical structure is same in that. That's why we can say that it has a same identical chemical properties in the isotopes. They are atoms of a different element, while the isotopes they are atoms of the same element. Okay, so these are all the topics that we have studied. Let us take a brief preview what we have studied so far in this chapter. So first we have started from the basic structure of atom. In that we have seen in the chapter number 3 that atoms cannot be further divisible. But in chapter 4 we have seen that the atoms also can be divided into the subatomic particle. And different so many scientists have discovered the subatomic particles. We have studied regarding that. The scientists who have discovered the electron, the scientists who have discovered the proton, or the scientists who have discovered the neutron, we have done the study regarding that. In that we have seen that after that we have seen that whatever the subatomic particle, it consists of some kind of ionic charge in that. So we have seen that electron consists a negative charge, proton consists a positive charge, and neutron has no charge. Okay, or we can say that it is a constant in charge. We have learned that in this chapter. After that we have studied about the so many models regarding the structure of atom. Because we have found the particles, subatomic particles into the atom. But so many scientists have discovered regarding the model. They have given us the model. So basically first model was given by the Thomson. Into that he has discovered that there is a positive spherical charge, into that the electrons are lies beneath them. Okay, and it will look like a pudding of a Christmas pudding, or it will look like a watermelon. So we have discussed also that afterwards we have seen that after Thomson, the Rutherford has given us the concept regarding the electron, proton and neutron structure of that, and he has discovered that this proton and neutron is in a nucleus while electrons are revolving around it, but he hasn't given us idea regarding the orbitical structure of that. After that, Bohr and Rutherford he have collabed with each other, and they have given us a basic model regarding that, into which we are learning in today's daytime that the electrons are revolving around in a specific orbits around the nucleus. Okay. And then we have seen the electronic configuration of the atoms. In that we have seen that the number of electrons has to be fixed in whatever the orbit we are taking. So for that we have seen that the 2n square formula for the representing of the how many maximum electron can be stayed into that orbit. We have learned that. Afterwards we have seen the configuration of the first 18 elements, into that how many electrons are staying in the first orbit, second orbit, third orbit. These types of study we have already done. Then in the last topic we have seen about the valency. Okay, so number of electrons present in the last orbit can be said is a valency of that element. Then we have seen about the isotopes and isobars. So this is it for this chapter. So I am giving you the homework in today's lecture. Okay, you have to do this homework. Question number 1. Write electronic configuration for first 18 elements. Question number 2. Write the difference between isotopes and isobars. Question number 3. What did you mean by valency of element? Okay, so that is your homework for today's lecture. I hope you all are understanding these online lectures. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for reading this lecture. If you had any kind of doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. You can ask me on personally by contacting me on a WhatsApp, or you can personally call me. So I hope you are stay safe, stay healthy, sanitize your hands regularly. Okay, wear mask, don't go outside. So we'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye everyone, and take care of yourself.